We've been talking about Doctor Who quite a bit on the channel because it's a massive, massive franchise that has a huge fan base. And once again, as we have seen time and time again, we're seeing it pretty much hijacked and used as a springboard for messaging. They've actually been doing it for a while. That entire Jodie Whittaker run was like that. The reason I think this time is a bit different is because they actually brought a guy back, Russell T. Davis, who was seen as kind of the guy who really built this and took it to new heights. And he's come back and is now just going in a crazy, crazy woke direction with it. Like he's managed to somehow roll up that entire Jodie Whittaker run and put it all into like 2 episodes. It's insane. And this isn't the only thing that the British Broadcasting Corporation has done. They've been quite woke for some time, and there was a little bit of research that came out a while ago showing just how woke they've become. And they're trying to say, well, that's not true. That's a bunch of BS. We're not woke. What's crazy about the BBC is they're actually publicly funded. If you have a TV in Britain, from what I understand, is you have to pay a tax, and they get that money. So when they have all of this money coming in that they don't really even have to do anything for, they can pretty much do whatever they want. So of course they're going woke. They bring in a bunch of activists to run the company, and they're not really in a position where they can truly fail because they've constantly got tax dollars coming in. And I guess if you try to not pay that tax, like, they really come after you. Like, I've seen videos of people like trying to come into homes and stuff. There was one that was kind of viral recently. This dude like there to collect the tax, and he was trying to come into the guy's home and stuff. You know, I don't know if that's a regular thing, but it just seems wild. Like, I would not want to pay the money. First off, I don't even watch any TV channels anymore. So it's like, why am I paying this tax? So, you know, that sucks for the people over there. Imagine having to give this company money for this kind of bullshit. But they're denying all this is a lie. They are not woke. It's junk. It's a lie. The BBC has criticized research accusing the UK broadcaster of peddling viewers a steady diet of woke bias, including news about gender diversity, storylines, and drama. The BBC accused the campaign of Common Sense, a group that advocates for freedom of expression, of cherry-picking examples of so-called woke issues from thousands of hours of output. The campaign for Common Sense has yet to publish its research, but the group appears to have collated examples of content that has upset relatively small numbers of viewers. The BBC said it did not constitute analysis. So, first off, I thought that research was already out. Maybe it's the small amounts of stuff that they've shared that I've seen. I know I've seen something on this. Maybe it was a different group, because a lot of people have been talking about how woke the BBC has become. But it's funny when they say, oh, only a small number of viewers are upset. That's total bullshit. There's a reason that R.I.P. Doctor Who has pretty much been, I don't know, trending for what, like 2 weeks now? R.I.P. Doctor Who has been trending for a minute. Yeah, I'm sure it's a small number of viewers. I've seen Nerdrotic cover Doctor Who, and his videos have gotten like 1 million people watching them. Yeah, it's a small number of people, sure. They're in such denial. But you know what this is? They don't want this kind of press out there because it will cause people to cancel their subscription or the taxes that they have to pay BBC. Imagine, man, I would be so pissed if I had to give them any money. I do not want to give the BBC money. Especially now they're in bed with Disney. Disney is helping pay for Doctor Who now. You want to know why it's in the spot it is? You can thank Disney for it. Disney's giving quite a bit of funding to Doctor Who now. Shocked? No, nobody is. But It's just another. Now you can actually put Doctor Who in the lump with like Disney's bullshit, which is fun. Findings were shared with the Daily Telegraph, which reported that the Campaign for Common Sense surveyed BBC content in an attempt to expose bias over issues including race and gender. By the way, they do news. Guess what kind of news is coming out of BBC? It's kind of similar in a way to CNN. It's all liberal bias. And what makes that crazy, like really the BBC, because it's government owned, right? It's a government thing. It should be neutral in all cases to represent all of the people that pay taxes to it. But that's not what happens with the BBC. That's not what happens. Now, I had to check that. I want to make sure. They're not owned by the government, right? It feels like they are, though, because you pay a tax to them. But they're kind of autonomous, but they're still really in bed with government. And I would argue, they get paid. You have to pay a license fee, and it's not really negotiable if you live there. UK households. This is from the generative AI from Google. So it's not truly owned by the government, but still, they get tax money. Or at least they are taxing people. It's messed up. I would not want to give them money. But they are very in bed with government. And I would say that they should be neutral in all of their politics, and they're not. Just because they collect that tax. This is an American talking about this. So I could be totally wrong here. Even this could be totally wrong. I don't know. We don't have the BBC here. But honestly, that seems like a blessing. But I mean, really, does it matter? Because Hollywood's woke as shit. So they posted a bunch of stuff, and they're not happy about it. They say they're cherry picking. That research is cherry picking. They haven't even seen it yet, but it's cherry picking. I think they're going to look really stupid when this comes out. Here are the two different statements. So the Campaign for Common Sense said this research reveals that rather than upholding those high standards of impartiality, parts of the BBC continue to peddle a steady diet of woke bias, both through plot lines of popular dramas and also in some of its news coverage. I've seen that news coverage. That's absolutely true. BBC's response says that they're cherry-picking a handful of examples or highlighting genuine mistakes in thousands of hours of output. That does not constitute analysis and is not a true representation of BBC content. We are proud that our output seeks to represent all audiences and a range of stories and perspectives. Oh, okay. Yeah, they represent all audiences. Sure you do. I mean, how do you explain all this Doctor Who shit? Yeah, this is for everybody. Absolutely. It's going to get worse with Doctor Who, by the way. There's a big interview with Ncuti Gatwa where he's talking about like robo-theys, and you've got Russell T. Davies trying to rile up the fans constantly. It's just not going to get any better. I feel very bad for you Doctor Who fans. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this. What are your thoughts on the BBC denying all of this? They're saying they are not woke. They actually represent both sides, and both sides get their say in all of their entertainment. Yeah, Doctor Who too. That's not woke for sure. It's actually partial to everybody. Sure, some crazy damage control. Cannot wait for the report that supposedly is coming out. That'll be fun to go through. Probably do a live stream for it when it happens. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I will see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.